Aging gracefully has never looked so hungry. Across the globe, from Silicon Valley biohackers to monks on mountaintops, people are embracing a surprisingly ancient idea with modern scientific teeth. Sometimes, the best way to nourish your body is not to eat. At least, not all the time. Intermittent fasting, IF, and its slightly less hardcore cousin, time-restricted feeding, TRF, have emerged as frontrunners in the longevity conversation. But are these just trendy ways to skip breakfast, or do they truly influence the deepest biological gears that tick toward aging? Let's dig into the science. Hunger pangs and all. Intermittent fasting is not one singular diet. It's more like a family reunion of eating patterns that include alternate day fasting, the 5:2 diet, fasting 2 days per week, and daily time-restricted feeding, e.g., eating only during an 8-hour window. The common denominator? Long stretches without food. And while this sounds suspiciously like just skipping meals, research increasingly suggests that these windows of abstinence trigger profound cellular recalibrations that may affect everything from insulin sensitivity to the rate your DNA collects age-related rust. One of the most fascinating intersections between IF and aging science is the emerging research around epigenetic clocks, biological tools that estimate your real age based on DNA methylation patterns. Your chronological age may say 60, but your methylation age might say 55 or 70, depending on how your genes have been influenced by lifestyle, environment, and yes, diet. Some early but tantalizing human studies suggest that intermittent fasting may slow the ticking of these clocks, essentially helping your biology act younger than your birth certificate. A small 2021 study found that participants who practiced prolonged overnight fasting for 3 months showed favorable changes in biological age markers, even after adjusting for weight loss. That means fasting's impact might go beyond calorie restriction alone. Then there's insulin resistance, the metabolic gremlin that sneaks in with age and leads to a cascade of chronic problems: type 2 diabetes, cardiovascular disease, cognitive decline, and increased all-cause mortality. Fasting seems to give insulin-producing cells a much-needed break. Studies have shown that even brief periods of daily time-restricted eating, say an 8-hour feeding window, can significantly improve glucose regulation, lower fasting insulin levels, and reduce HbA1c, all without dramatic weight loss. This is key, especially for older adults who may already be lean but insulin-resistant, a pattern known as TOFI, thin outside, fat inside, which sounds cute but isn't. How does this work? During fasting, your body shifts from glucose to fat as its primary energy source, entering a mild state of ketosis and triggering autophagy, a sort of cellular house-cleaning process that clears damaged proteins, misfolded structures, and dysfunctional mitochondria. Think of it as Marie Kondo for your cells. Does this oxidative stress spark joy?
No.
Out it goes. This internal cleanup helps improve metabolic efficiency and may reduce the inflammatory signaling that accelerates age-related diseases. Speaking of inflammation, let's talk frailty, arguably one of the most feared outcomes of aging. Frailty isn't just about feeling weak. It's a measurable clinical syndrome involving reduced strength, slower walking speed, exhaustion, and poor resilience to stressors. In animal models, intermittent fasting extends lifespan and preserves neuromuscular function well into old age. In humans, the picture is emerging but hopeful. A 2023 pilot study in older adults found that if improved not just weight and glucose metrics, but also markers of physical performance, including grip strength and gait speed, both predictors of longevity and quality of life. And let's not overlook inflammatory markers. Chronic low-grade inflammation, sometimes called inflammaging, is a central engine of biological aging. CRP, TNF-alpha, and interleukin-6 all tend to rise as we age, quietly chewing away at our tissues and immune regulation. Several human studies suggest that intermittent fasting can reduce these pro-inflammatory cytokines, particularly when paired with nutrient-dense diets, i.e., don't break your fast with a triple cheeseburger. That means fasting may not only slow aging at the genetic and metabolic level, it might also cool the inflammatory fire that fuels everything from arthritis to Alzheimer's. Of course, intermittent fasting is not a one-size-fits-all miracle. For some older adults, especially those with low body weight, chronic conditions, or certain medications, prolonged fasting can be risky or counterproductive. Muscle mass preservation is a concern, too. Aging adults already fight an uphill battle against sarcopenia, age-related muscle loss, and inadequate protein intake during fasting periods can make things worse. That's why experts increasingly recommend protein pacing during feeding windows and strength training to accompany any fasting routine aimed at healthy aging. After all, a biologically younger you isn't much help if you can't lift a grocery bag. Also worth noting, time-restricted feeding seems to be the gentlest and most sustainable method for older adults. Eating within a consistent 8 to 10-hour window aligns better with circadian rhythms, supports sleep, and reduces nighttime glucose spikes. Studies have shown that even modest changes, like finishing dinner earlier or skipping that midnight snack, can improve fasting glucose and morning alertness without requiring the heroic willpower of full-day fasting. So, is intermittent fasting a legitimate key to slowing aging at the molecular level? The evidence is growing, and it's not all mouse data or internet anecdotes anymore. From epigenetic stability to metabolic flexibility, from immune recalibration to mobility preservation, fasting appears to offer a multi-pronged defense against the wear and tear of time. While it's not a magic bullet, and definitely not a license to eat donuts between fasts, it might be one of the simplest, cheapest, and most biologically clever tools we have to stretch the health span. And if the idea of skipping breakfast still sounds like torture, remember, it's not just about when you eat, but what happens when you don't. Sometimes, your cells just need a little quiet time to clean up, recover, and get back to doing what they were designed to do. Keep you healthy, mobile, and miraculously alive for as long as possible. Hungry yet?